Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, in case you ain't know so, and welcome back to another dope episode of Sports with SoSo. Coming to you live, y'all. This week, Spence versus Crawford was an amazing fight. We also got the Dolphins putting on the pads for training camp. The Marlins are fighting for their wild card spot, and UFC 291 delivered the knockouts. It's time to take a ride, y'all. Let's go. It's the little things, dog. It's the little things that trip a player up. You know what I'm saying? Before we get this shit cracking, dog.
Yep.
But once we get it cracking, it's on, dog.
It's on and popping.
For sure, man.
Some will say cracking, some will say popping. Either way, something's happening.
It depends what gen you fall in, right? Like, if you're older, you might say what's cracking.
Nah, I think it's both the same generation that says cracking and popping.
There might be a little...
I don't think Gen Z's saying that. What's cracking?
Nah, probably not. Well, maybe. It depends. I don't know. I'm not close to either one of those
Maybe
guys.
it was popping because of Jack Harlow.
Maybe.
But I think it's kind of in the same realm.
Possibly, man. Possibly.
Anyway, we started the show by. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. What's good with you, man?
What's cracking? I'm out here. Just got back from Tennessee from a little trip.
Yes, sir.
It was a fun time out in Music City.
And it was hot out there.
Hot as shit. I'm sure it was hot here too. But
no, for sure it was bad out here, dog. But the humidity factor is not the same, right? And that shit plays a big role down here, man.
Yeah. It's been brutal down here. But it was bad up there, but not as bad as down here.
No, for sure. Bro, you know, I asked you before the show started if you got a chance to watch the fight, and now it makes sense why you didn't get a chance to watch Spence versus Crawford this Saturday.
Yeah, man. I saw recaps. Obviously, you know me. I'm gonna at least know the outcomes and watch the highlights and all that stuff. But I didn't get to actually enjoy the fight, so I'm counting on you to kind of walk me through what I missed.
Bro, you missed a lot. Because that fight really delivered on every single aspect that it was promising. Right? You had both guys coming in and really, really putting everything on the line, dog, and facing these guys straight up. Neither one of them were like dancing around each other. It was like, let's meet and we're gonna throw hands and we're gonna see who's the better boxer here. And for me, it was stunning to see the way that Crawford picked apart Errol Spence Jr. that night. He picked him apart, bro, because Spence was known for having the better jab, but how Crawford was able to, you know, just get to him with power on that jab was crazy. And, you know, it makes sense knowing how good of a boxer Crawford is, right? But when you see it happening live, right, and I'm watching this fight, and I'm like, bro, Crawford is really, really that dude, because it takes something to hit somebody with a jab, right? And not only stop them from moving forward, you move them back. That's not what the jab is intended to do, right? The jab is intended to increase your range, figure out where the guy's going to be, keep them at bay. It's never really a power punch. And Crawford was using it as a power punch and using his right hand to really put a lot of pressure on Spence, which, again, was stunning because everybody came into this fight knowing that Spence was the better jabber. And everybody walked away from this fight knowing that Crawford is the more powerful puncher in all aspects. Because the first knockdown that he got on Spence, was a jab. You know, Errol Spence was trying to dodge him, and Crawford just caught him with one straight power jab. Boom. And he, you know, wobbled him, and not wobbled him like messed him up, but, you know, he threw off his equilibrium with that punch, and he forced him to take that drop early in the round.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask.
It was in the second round.
Second round.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
that kind of set the tone then?
Big time set the tone. And everybody who was watching that fight had that feeling of like, oh shit, something magical was about to happen. And it was magical because Spence got a beat down at the hands of Crawford, dog. Like, you know that meme of Martin when he fights Tommy the Hitman Hearns and he gets all bruised up and shit? That's what they were saying Crawford did.
I saw
Crawford did too.
Twitter was going in, or X was going in.
Yeah, X. Weird.
We'll
say that
for
yours
changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine officially changed.
Yeah. It was still weird, though.
It's kind of wild.
It is wild, but weird.
Follow us on X, by the way, Sports with SoSo. I saw also that he was calling out another potential fighter, in the middle of the fight, going like in between rounds. You can see Spence is kind of like dazed, and then like Crawford is over here looking at the crowd, talking trash to, was it Charlo or?
Yeah, it was Charlo.
That's his name?
Yeah.
I don't know if I was saying that Charlo correctly or not, but anyways, yeah, he was like talking smack, like you're next, and then ding ding ding, like go back in and finish the fight against Spence.
Because that was in the 7th round, and that was after he dropped him for the 2nd time. So he dropped him twice in the 7th round, and. The boxing announcer that night was saying that Crawford doesn't waste punches. He doesn't win rounds sometimes because he's not throwing a lot of punches. But when he hits you, it's with a purpose. When he's throwing those punches, it's with a purpose. And that was a flawlessly executed game plan that he had for Errol Spence Jr. that night. And Spence, completely owned up to it. He manned up to it. He literally gave him his props and said, he's the better boxer tonight. He whooped my ass. Ain't no excuses about it. Let's do the rematch. Which makes sense, right? You just lost all your belts. Now, Crawford is the fucking undisputed welterweight champion of the world, man. And he's done that in 2 divisions. Nobody else has done that except for one person. Want to guess? I'll give you a hint.
Mayweather?
No, I'll give you a hint. It's a female.
Oh, female boxer.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you got me there, dude. I don't know.
You've heard of the name Clarissa Shields, right?
I have heard that name.
Yep, that's her. So she's won all the belts in 2 divisions.
Shit.
She was the first person to do that, male or female.
Oh, wow.
And now...
How long ago?
Maybe like 4 years ago.
No shit.
3 years ago. Yeah.
That's elite.
That's elite. Like this, she's like an Olympic champion. She is the face of women's boxing right now, for sure. And now, this past Saturday, Bud Crawford is another name on that list.
Yeah.
That just puts that guy, fuck a pound for pound list, that puts him in the all-time greats category. Because when you're able to accomplish real history in the sport of boxing, right, it means something because boxing's been around since forever, right, more than any other sport, right? So it carries a lot of prestige to be
a lot of legacy.
A lot of legacy to be that guy. Now his name is in the history books forever. Not only did you destroy one of the best boxers in this era, if not the best boxer in this era, right? You destroyed him. You stamp yourself as well as one of the greats by accomplishing history. So he killed 2 birds with 1 stone that night. And it was impressive, dog. It was really impressive because I did not see that shit coming, dog. I really didn't, dog. I think both you and I both had Spence winning the fight.
Yeah.
I had him winning by a late knockout. You had him winning split decision. And none of that shit came to fruition because it was just, different levels of who's the better fighter. And you got to give credit to Bud, man. He was one of those guys. I saw on the interview he did with the Pivot where he was like, everybody that I faced, the next person that I'm facing says, oh, but my resume isn't good enough. But in the meantime, I'm fighting all these world-class fighters, guys who are at the best in their division, guys who are number 1 ranked, number 2 ranked. Like, I'm fighting dudes. I'm not fighting bums, right? And,
champions.
And now they can't say that shit about his resume anymore because he put the guy on his resume and say, I destroyed this dude. Not that I beat him. I destroyed this dude.
So I know that they had a rematch clause as part of their contract.
Yep.
Seeing a fight like this, so it's never, if it was a closer fight, it'd probably, have more built up for a rematch. You're already at this point, so early, but seeing that it was so lopsided, are we really excited to see, the rematch of this fight?
Ooh, that's a tough question, right? Because you kind of do want to see it because maybe, just maybe, Spence had an off night and Crawford had an on night, right? Where everything was working out for him. Maybe the game plan changes if they meet again. Or
the script,
right? You know what I mean? Like, so it can change. And I think that if you're talking about making a mega fight, that is the biggest mega fight. Like, don't get me wrong, these dudes can fight other people, right? To build up the other rematch. Maybe it just doesn't happen immediately. maybe we need to see Spence jump back into the ring against another elite type fighter and really prove that that's who Spence is. You know what I mean? And not the dude that Crawford beat that night. And then they can do the rematch. I don't think it happens that quick because there's a lot of fighters that are willing to go after a guy like Crawford because of that.
Here's why I don't think that's going to happen, though, because Spence had something to put on the line.
Yeah.
Hence why he gets the rematch clause. He's not going to allow somebody else to just jump in there. I don't care how long you think you've been waiting for, bro. Those are my belts, and we have a contract that says I have a right to get a chance to get back at him. So I think we are going to see that fight sooner rather than later, and I don't think we're going to see them fight anybody else from here to then.
Maybe. A lot of that now comes into effect of money, right? Crawford's obviously the A side. How much does he want? Does he want a bigger purse? Because now things aren't as even as the first fight would have been.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, they literally flipped a coin for who's going to walk in first, which Spence ended up losing. That probably cost him the night. And Spence's walk in was awesome, but then fucking Crawford brings out Eminem, dog, like, to lose yourself.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you lost the walkout, homie.
This guy's locked in on a different level. You know what I mean? So maybe, for sure, if you're talking about money, then yes, this fight needs to happen immediately. If you're talking about the best for that division, you could probably do a little mini tournament to see who goes up against Crawford. But that's probably not what people are willing to wait for. I think everybody wants to see the immediate fight with Spence again. But here's the thing. What if he does it again? Then that kind of kills that little argument, right?
Then that's it. You're not contractually obligated anymore. At that point, you fulfilled it, and then Earl Spence is just what used to be. He'll still be around. He's still gonna fight. He's then at that point he has to really claw his way up. He gets bumped all the way down to everybody that's been waiting in line. But it kind of sucks. The way that he went out. We would have expected, especially for such a big fight like this.
Yeah, a
little bit of a closer fight. I mean, so far this year, we've seen now Tank. We saw Tank versus Ryan Garcia.
Yep,
one-sided. That was all Tank. We just dropped him in the third or fourth round or something like that early on, and that was it. This one went a little bit further than that, but still, didn't go the distance. That you're expecting from these two guys. Don't get me wrong. We like to see knockouts and fights end early and stuff like that, but we also like to see them be a little closer.
A lot closer. This was a domination, one-sided, about all accounts and purposes, man. So we have to give a big shout out to Crawford for going out there and backing up his actions, right? Using his actions to back up his words. And this is a dude who wasn't really chirping a lot to begin with. Both of these guys shared a lot of respect, but they both had the utmost belief in themselves to be like, nah, I'm the dude who's walking away with all 4 belts. Crawford did it, dog, in impressive fashion. So
big win.
Big win for him, man. And now you're a fucking undisputed, dog. Like, wow, undisputed, man.
And 2 classes. Didn't know that.
Man, 2 classes. That's wild, man. What a legendary. What else do we got to talk about? We got to talk about the Dolphins.
We can keep fighting if you want to keep going about fighting.
No, I want to talk about the Dolphins.
Okay, let's go training camp.
Well,
we have some bad news at the top of the training camp news.
Yep. Let's start with the bad stuff, right?
Let's get it out of the way.
Go ahead.
Jalen Ramsey officially is out for the start of the season.
Yes.
He was our acquisition over the offseason. He was going to cement our defense and our secondary. And he and Tyreek Hill bumped knees last week in training camp. He did some evaluations, required some surgery. I believe it was his meniscus.
Yes.
And
not the ACL.
He's going to be out for a good portion of the beginning of the season.
Which isn't the best, but better that it happens now than any point during the season.
Happens week 1. He's out for pretty much the whole season at that point.
Half the season, for sure. 4 to 6. Let's call it. Let's put it 2 months. But how good are you going to be when you come back? Right. That's always the concern.
I don't even think. I think if it happened week 1, I think he's out for the season. I don't think he comes back unless we play in the Super Bowl, and then at that point it's even
no.
Yeah, bro. Because you're
6 to 8 weeks, dog.
Plus rehab. So you're talking. This is a little bit longer of a process than they're kind of putting on there, especially
2 months
surgery in your knee. So now it's what we got to August. So August, September. rehab through October. We'll see him in November, I think, is my timeline.
For sure. He's going to play, for sure. And he already came out today, in the newspaper and shit saying that he's going to beat that whatever timeline they give him. He's going to beat it.
Yeah, he's motivated to do that, hopefully.
Not only that, like, these guys are prime-time athletes. We know that the medical staff and the training staff, at the Dolphins facility is world-renowned. You know what I mean? We're talking about Baptist Hospital where everybody comes to get any type of sports injury corrected or anything like that. So we know that he's being taken care of by the best. So there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be back by week 6. You know what I mean? Like some shit like that because of how strong of a dude he is. But I also like the reaction by the Dolphins and the time that it gives them to react to something like this, right? Where you get the bad news, but then you're immediately able to go out and sign a guy like Eli Apple, who by all, accounting purposes is not the best of the best or a name that you really want to have. But at the same time, this is a guy who has played in big games, played for Cincinnati 2 years, went to a Super Bowl with them. Like, he knows the deal, right? As far as what it takes to perform in big games. And we're not asking this guy to come in here and create some type of miracle. Just come in here and be a better body than what we had available last year, which was damn near half a body. Another thing that doesn't lead me to worry too much, Kader Kohou is still here. Like, this is a dude who really played excellent for us last year. Had big moments.
With a broken hand for, I think, 6 games.
You know what I mean? So, like, a guy that we can...
I just found that out. I didn't know if you knew that.
Nah, I knew it, but they always had it plastered. And you could tell when something's messing you up because your hand is plastered. You know what I mean? And then your other hand is pretty much your actual hand.
Right.
But my point being with Kohou is like he's proven that he can hold his own, dog. Now you can throw him out there on a second receiver, third receiver, and you know what you're going to get from this guy, and he's going to be able to hold it down on more occasions than not. So having another guy come into the building like Eli Apple and adding to that depth at cornerback, it's only going to help us because we know we don't want Noah Igmanawi out there. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's up with Nick Needham. Like, he's still coming off that injury. So I'd rather you go get guys now that you can actually pick the one that you want
and Eli
instead
Apple,
of what's out there.
Let's be honest. Eli Apple might not even be on this team come, day 1, week 1.
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm putting this out there.
Yeah,
there's a very it's the NFL, dog. There's a possibility that could happen. We pick people up, we drop them, we train them, whatever. Sure. But yes, it absolutely, I think, only adds the fact that we have veteran experience there. It's going to be interesting in practice. Seeing now Tyreek and him, who they've had beef before in the past. See how that kind of plays out. But besides the Eli Apple acquisition, we drafted a kid in the secondary for a corner, Cam Smith out of South Carolina, and he's been in just a couple practices so far. He's been showing a lot of flashes, is what I'm reading and what I'm seeing out there, showing a lot of really good flashes. And it seems like Vic Fangio likes his athleticism for his scheme and what he's able to draw him up to do a bunch of different things, kind of like Jalen Ramsey's able to do on the field.
Right.
So that we got some pieces that are working for us. Exactly, which a year ago I don't think was the case. We had a bunch of it was mishaps, not mishaps, but like misfits. It was a bunch of misfits.
Absolutely, Joel, and even in more in the sense of you weren't able to pick from a list of guys that you really wanted. You were picking from a list of guys who were just there. That's the difference in getting a guy like Eli Apple in the building early. You're picking one of the guys who was an NFL starter 3-4 months ago. So what are we talking about here? There's a guy that you can put into a system and really have him be serviceable at the very least, and has a potential to excel because of the type of defense that he's going to be playing in. This defense is going to be one of the top 10, and dare I say a top 5 defense, just because of the type of playmakers that we have and who's running the defense now. Like, I have the utmost belief in this guy, so it doesn't concern me to see him like stamp off a guy like Eli Apple coming in.
Give me your top 5 defenses for 2023.
49ers, Dolphins.
No particular order. We're not going
right. No order. Vic will kick my ass if I don't fucking say the Bills, dog. So I got to say the Bills. I think the Chargers can surprise people on defense this year. That's a team that I would put up there. Who else? Maybe Philadelphia is my last pick.
I think you only gave me 4.
No. Dolphins,
Got
Niners,
Dolphins,
Bills.
Niners, Bills.
I think the Chargers
Philly?
are going to be
Oh,
the
you said the
surprising team.
Chargers? Okay.
I think the Chargers are going to be a good defensive team this year. And then the last team would be Philly.
Do you think that the Jets potentially have a top 5 defense this year?
Maybe. Depends how their season goes.
So if that's the case, let's say we swap out the Chargers for the Jets, and I'm not trying to put any respect on the Jets name because I hate the Jets, but
All right, just checking.
They got Sauce Gardner, arguably one of the best up and coming.
They're going to be solid.
They got a great D lineman, and forget that kid's name. The big boy that's funny as shit. They got a couple pieces.
They
there.
got some players.
If that's the case, dog, and it's playing out the way that we're just talking about it, the Dolphins have to compete with 2 out of the best 32 defenses out there for 4 games this year.
I mean, Joel, we know that because the division is so tough.
Wild, dog.
Right?
It
because
just
even
keeps
the Patriots games, like you go back and look at what we did last year, it was tough games. Yeah, we beat them, but we had to earn those victories. Patriots were laying down. Jets were not laying down.
Yeah, division opponents are
we're division opponents, so this shit is always going to be tough. And I think that, especially for the Bills and us, like playing the Jets and playing the Patriots this year is going to have playoff implications.
Of course.
So they're going to have playoff feels, right? Like maybe a guy that is kind of hurt, wouldn't play this week, he's going to suit up for this game because he knows it's important. Right? It's a division game. We're looking to establish ourselves for the playoffs. So it could be very different. Back to what you were saying with the Jets. Yes, I know that they're a good defense and they have that capability to be a top 10 defense. I just got to see it.
Yeah,
I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like I've seen it more from the Dolphins and the Bills to be like, yeah, they're pretty badass. Plus, the Chargers have a dude named Bosa out there. And any guy that comes from the family tree Bosa, you know you're a badass, i.e. his brother's on that other team for the 49ers. So I'm just saying, like, when it comes to defenses, the mixture of talent that we have in those specific places that we need to have them, or you would want to have them if you're an NFL franchise, we have that. And we have the mastermind on top of that. So you got a mastermind on offense and a mastermind on defense. Like, I'm feeling very confident in this coaching staff, which is more than I can say for any of the last coaching staffs for the past 15 years, right? We have us as a Dolphin fan nation, right? We definitely have more belief in this coaching staff than any other coaching staff in again, 15 years easily. So,
yeah. I would definitely agree with that. I'm excited, man. Excited for the rest of training camp. I'm excited when we start playing with other teams, practicing against other teams.
Yes. We're actually starting to practice with Atlanta pretty soon.
Yeah, there's actually an NFL game this week, I believe.
Yes.
I think it's the Jets in Cleveland.
I think so. Maybe. Getting ready for the Hall of Fame game.
I'm excited, man. I'm all in for football. I've been watching Quarterback on Netflix. I saw the whole thing. I'm excited for that. I saw Tua decline, being the quarterback, one of the quarterback options for next year.
I'm glad.
It kind of sucks because, you want to see, as a fan, you want to see that stuff. But at the same time, if you are a real fan, you can appreciate Tua declining that because that tells you how locked that dude is.
Facts.
He is all in on winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I love that.
And even in the way that he's talking now, right? You see a different type of Tua. You see a different, more mature Tua, a guy who's probably more locked in.
A tatted up Tua
for sure, right? But like on top of that, just I don't know, he looks like an NFL quarterback. He looks like he's sturdier, dog. Guy put on muscle, like looks a little bit thicker, no homo. But even still, he's just at that level where you look at him and you're like, yeah, for sure he's an NFL starting quarterback. And he's a guy who's kicking ass. I don't know, man. I just sense something different with this guy, and it has a lot to do with positivity. And I feel like he's going to be the guy that everybody wants him to be. We know what he can be, but that guy that everybody wants Tua to be, he's going to do that this year. He's going to do that this year because he's driven. He's definitely driven. Excited to see training camp, bro. I'm excited to go out there one of these days, man. We got to see if we can get together and go check that shit out, man. But yeah, the Dolphins showing a lot of promise, bro. Showing a lot of promise. I hopefully we don't have any injuries between here and the first game, and just kind of see what happens there. But it's the NFL, man. We've already seen a bunch of guys go down. Joe Burrow with his calf injury. Giants, I think, lost a lineman. It's just been a lot A lot happening.
Tim Patrick for the Broncos just went down today.
I saw that.
Poor kid, man. That kid's never going to play in the NFL.
Yeah, man. He's nasty.
Yeah, hopefully we can have a healthy rest of the preseason and offseason, and we can build off of last year, man. I'm excited.
OnlyFans coming soon. OnlyFans coming soon, baby.
With a PH.
Yes. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the Sports with SoSo YouTube channel. We're on our way to 300. Help your boy out. Go hit that subscribe button. Let's talk a little bit about the Marlins, man. It looks like they're righting the ship. You know, they just won a series right now over the Detroit Tigers, who were in town visiting, and it was cool because we got to honor Miguel Cabrera. He's retiring. We didn't mention that on the last show, but he's retiring, so it was cool to see the Marlins like bring back original 2003, right? 2003, yeah.
2003?
2003, dog. Wow.
20 years, dog.
Yeah, dog. You say it like that, and it's like, fuck, 20 years. And
you were struggling there. 2003?
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out.
203?
Yeah, because in my mind I'm thinking like he was here for that, right? And it's like, yeah, of course he was here for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Miggy, I got a lot of love this weekend. It was Venezuelan Day at the park. I think it was on their Independence Day as well as a country, so that was cool to see the stadium packed. But the Marlins, man, getting back into the swing of winning series. You know, they took 2 out of 3 against Detroit, and more. And they battled as well in that Tampa Bay series because we were expecting them to battle it out and try to get both of these games in order to come back home. And that first game against Tampa Bay, they just did not have it. Lost 4-1, couldn't get anything going. Top of that, you know, you're coming back, you're playing the next day before you come home, and they go out there and dominate that game nice and early, bro. Got a couple of home runs, a bunch of hits. Luis Arias keep doing his thing, and the Marlins won comfortably, which was nice to see because it was 6-1, and we dominated from first inning to last inning. And it's been a while since we've seen the Marlins do that. And then they carry that energy into the first game against the Detroit Tigers. Ended up winning 6-5. Lost the second game, shut out 5-0, but then came back to bounce back and not let it turn into a streak, and won in impressive fashion 8-6. I think that one was not in extra innings, but the first one was. But we saw a couple of appearances in this series from Detroit of newly acquired Robinson. We just got, David Robinson from the Mets, which are trading at the deadline, selling at the deadline with their super inflated roster. Even though the owner says they're not sellers, but whatever. You trade your best closer to the Marlins for a couple of fucking prospects. Looks like you're tanking, you know, or at least giving up on the season. And this dude is probably the best dude when it comes to saving. This dude Robinson, man, he's been a fucking beast. And I'm trying to see if he is. Yeah, I got it right here. This dude Robinson, he comes in and really solidifies the bullpen for the Marlins, which needed it in complete fashion because we had seen AJ Puk get roughed up a couple of times. There was a lot of instability in the back part of the rotation, and we didn't have enough guys coming in and throwing it quality innings or quality appearances. And now we have this dude, David Robinson, who's, by all accounts and purposes, you know, one of the best in the game, man. And I think that just shows you that this Marlins front office is committed to winning, and they believe that they have a team that can go out there and win. This dude has 15 saves on the season, an ERA of 2, 49 strikeouts. Like, he's a real deal closer. And now the Marlins are going to be in positions to win games like we did 8-6, right? Where we know we can get ahead and hand the ball over to this guy and say, hey, close the game out. And 90% of the times he's going to do so, man. So I really hope that he solidifies the bullpen, like I said. And now that we got Jazz coming back, you know, they reported it today. Jazz is coming back for the Philly series, which is going to be super important because the Marlins are still in that wild card hunt, dog.
Yeah, and the Phillies are getting hot too. Talk to me about that game. We lost 5-0 though, man. What happened there? Who was pitching for us that night? Do you know?
I do know.
It's okay. Dead air is okay.
Yeah, it is. Joey
podcast. People love that.
Who was pitching for us? Fuck.
There's radio silence.
It's awesome.
It's the best.
It's the best. Hold on a second.
Horrible producer teeing you up with a question you don't have the answer
Come
for.
on, cuz. You could have brought it up.
I could have. I should have brought it up. But yeah, I just figured
It's
you
all
had
right.
that all in front
No,
of you.
man.
I just didn't know, man.
Johnny
Five
Cueto
zip.
made his second appearance of the season for the Marlins.
Yikes. And that was the 5-0?
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
Lasted 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, only had 5 strikeouts. This is a dude who's coming back from an injury, so I don't expect that guy to do much. But
we were expecting him to do a little bit more than losing a game 5-0.
yes, but his injury, or like once he got hurt and he wasn't ready for the beginning of the season, like all expectations went out the window with that guy, because I knew in my heart of hearts that Cueto was not going to come in here and do the job that we thought he was going to do, which is come in and eat up innings, eat up a bunch of starts, take your ass whoopings, take your good days when they come. And he hasn't been able to been there for us, so it's automatically a loss for him on the season, right? Unless he could come back and be a fucking amazing pitcher, which...
So then why set down Perez to bring up...
I'm telling you, the Perez move was weird, dog. They should have kept him up, but they didn't want to use that year of arbitration to kind of keep him under their control for even longer. It's a Marlins move, and a bunch... And look, we say it's a Marlins move, or I say it's a Marlins move, but truth be told, a bunch of fucking teams would do that. A bunch of teams would be like, you know what... This guy's going to be amazing. Let me hold him out for a month or two, get burned, see what happens with the rest of the staff, and then still have that year of eligibility next year and throw him out whenever I can again, right? Why not? You're not losing anything by that. But for the Marlins, like, the biggest thing for us is turning the ship around, because they went from a team that was winning series to losing series, and now not even competing in series around the All-Star break, right?
Yeah.
And now they're back to the point where they're winning series. They need to continue that type of upward trending momentum.
Yeah.
And honestly, they need to do it ASAP against these Phillies, because, like you said, this is a team that is battling with us. Philadelphia is only half a game behind the Marlins in the division, and that makes them a half a game behind us in the wild card. So we're in some thin ice when it comes to that shit. We're actually tied. No, they're still half a game behind us in the wild card, but we are tied with Milwaukee. And San Francisco is ahead by 1 a game.
Yeah, they got a little hot there, and then they kind of stalled out. They're also 4-6 in their last 10 games. So right now is a good time for the Marlins to kind of bounce back. You know, get 2 out of 3 here.
No, you have to. You have to win this series. It's a 4-game series, right? At home, like, you have some of your best pitchers pitching. Cabrera's pitching; he's been good this year. Sandy's pitching game 2, and then you have Cueto and Braxton Garrett finishing up the series. These guys should be able to win at least 2 of these games, but they got to walk away with the series win no matter what. They should win with 2 games, but they got to walk away with a series win no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. Because then you go on the road against Texas and Cincinnati before you come back home. So you're going to be on the road for pretty much a week and a half, almost 2 weeks.
The Reds got one of the hottest baseball players in baseball right now.
Yeah, that guy's been killing it, dog. Fuck.
So we got to see that. And then you said who before that?
Texas
on the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, we gotta.
You gotta win games.
We gotta win
dog.
we gotta win series.
You gotta win games, dog. You gotta win series. You know what I mean? You can't fuck around. The Marlins. It sucks to put this pressure on them, right? Because at the beginning of the year, it was like, just do whatever, keep it interesting. And then they started winning, and it was like, oh shit, now you got us bought in. Like,
right.
Let's keep it going. They started losing a little bit, and it's like, hey,
¿qué pasa aquí?
¿Qué está pasando aquí? Right? And now you're looking at them again like, are we back to winning again, or what are we doing? So we need these guys to kind of show up and show out, man. Hopefully we can take, like I said, 3 out of 4 against this Phillies team. We do that. Not only do we really put ourselves in a great position in the wild card hunt, right? But we also create a little bit of separation at the same time from Philadelphia and let them battle it out with one of those other teams that's in, competing for that wild card spot. Arizona's right there, 1 game behind it. Chicago 2.5. San Diego's only 5 out. Like, there are teams that can make a run. You want to be one of those teams in the top 2 spots and let everybody else be trying to battle it out. Marlins can do that by winning this next series against Philadelphia. Let's see if they can do it, man. I'm rooting for them to do it.
We all are.
Maybe not everybody, though.
We are.
Maybe not everybody. Man, before we wrap up, we got to talk about UFC 291, dog, which was for the BMF title, Poirier versus Gaethje, number 2. not only was that fight super hyped up, you know what I mean? Like, Georgie made it even more hype when he announced that he was going to be handing off the belt. And, you know, people were talking about who does Masvidal want to win the belt because he's trained with Dustin at AT&T. And
put $100,000 on Dustin.
Put $100,000 on him, dog. So you could tell the friendliness within the camp was there, right? And who Masvidal was leaning towards. But truth be told, man, this fight was really even, dog. Like, coming into it. It was literally even because both of these guys are such badasses at their, at their sport, and their careers are full of amazing victories and knockouts and shit. So it wouldn't be surprising to see these guys go to war yet one more time. And that's exactly what happened. But Gaethje got a little bit of redemption here, man. He was able to land a nasty head kick on Dustin Poirier. Did not see that coming, little right hand right over the fucking left shoulder. Boom, caught him, knocked him out, gave him one more as he was going down for good measure before Dean slid in there like a baseball player.
Out of nowhere, dog.
Out of nowhere. What a great fucking
Randy
slide.
Orton.
What a great slide by Dean, dog. But yeah, he landed that knockout blow, man, and earned himself the BMF title and really earned himself a title at the championship for the lightweight title because, yeah, the BMF title doesn't really have any weight, right? There's no significance to it. But when you're talking about being the lightweight champion, there's a bunch of guys that you can fight or guys who can be in that division. The champ, Islam Makhachev, he's been a killer in that division. His wrestling is outstanding. But Justin has that type of dog in him, right? That would make that fight interesting.
Sure.
He could fight Charles Oliveira again, right? Who ended Gaethje, right? Like, beat him in, I think he choked him out and beat him in impressive fashion. But this is a division that's stocked with talent, so I'm wondering if with this impressive victory over a hell of a fucking opponent in Dustin Poirier, like, does he jump up and say, hey, now I get to fight for the belt?
Is that enough to surpass the other guys?
It's tough, right?
It is. I mean, I don't know, man. I have no idea, where that division stands right now in the hierarchy and who's the number one contender.
Makhachev is the champ right now. Oliveira's 2. The Irish is number 3. He's the number.
Oliveira's the number 1 contender.
Right, number 1 contender. Then the Irish is number 2 contender, and then you got Gaethje as the number 3 contender.
Yeah, so there's a fight against Poirier, who's kind of former champ,
top 5 guy,
but also on his way out. You know what I mean? Kind of deal.
Yeah.
Is that enough to bump him up to give him that title shot? I feel like just because of Gaethje and what is going to draw, I think you do it.
Yeah,
because I think Gaethje's going to draw more than Oliveira and the Rouge.
Possibly, dog. And I think the fight fan wants to see that happen. I think they want to see. They already seen him fight Oliveira. You know what I mean? Like, they want to see this guy get a crack at Makhachev because other guys have gotten their chance and they haven't been able to last. So let's see this new guy, the champ, take on a type of fighter that Gaethje is, who is very different than the other guys that we named, Poirier, Oliveira, and who's the other dude that we just named? Shit, the Rouge. Very different. You know what I mean? One of the most impressive fights for me of the evening was Alex Pereira. He made his debut in the light heavyweight division.
That was crazy. The fucker weighed in 205 and then 24 hours later was 228.
That he's not normal.
Something like that, right? Like
this guy's not normal. Like, Blachowicz, like, he walks around that fight right that weight. You know what I'm saying? He's not a dude that's really ballooning up into a heavyweight type weight. Yeah. But Aaron's a fucking animal, dog. And the way that he moves at that weight, dog, is ridiculous. This guy should be playing in the NFL or something, in the NBA, dog. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely NFL.
Definitely NFL, dog, with his fucking power, man. And that power was on display, bro. He was beating down Blachowicz, man. And John Blachowicz is a former champ in that division. So it's not like he was fighting a chump coming in and making your debut. This is a dude who has fought Izzy, beat Izzy in that division, right? And then you kind of went one-on-one with Izzy. So you kind of feel confident if you're Alex heading into this fight, and he just showed pure dominance. That first round, John came out and kind of hit him with a couple of low kicks. After that, Alex got settled and just started wailing on him and pretty much controlled the rest of the fight, standing up. Used really good takedown defense where he didn't allow John Blachowicz to take him down. So he won that fight quite handily, and it was impressive to see him make that jump up into that division. possible future heavyweight.
He's going to dominate that division. I mean,
for sure.
That's it. He already just proved it. He's going to dominate it.
There's no doubt about that, dog. And I think that is going to be his next fight, man, because if you think about it, it's a vacant belt right now. What's his name? Had it. Let me get his name.
The heavyweight title?
No, the light heavyweight title. The light heavyweight title was being held by Jamal Hill. That's the dude's name, right? He beat Barkovich, but he got hurt and he gave up the belt. He's like, I didn't want to hold it up. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of dudes who can fight for that belt. I think Alex should be one of those dudes. He's a former champion in the weight below, and I think that he can definitely be one of these interim champions until they have like a mini tournament or whatever to decide who's going to be the number one contender.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
It would be dope to see him, man.
Oh, yeah.
It would be dope.
What about, there was another, I mean, I know the whole card was great, but
whoa.
There was another real good fight that night.
Hell yeah, 2 good fights. The first fight actually was an amazing fight, which was Kevin Holland. He choked out Chiesa, pretty much got him with a nasty choke. And Kevin Holland is one of those dudes, man, that Michael Chiesa, he choked him out, but he's not known for his grappling, right? But he's obviously like a fucking brown belt in jiu-jitsu, so his ground game is nasty. Just this dude Chiesa is a really good fighter in that division as well, but he just
Michael Chiesa?
Chiesa, that's what it is. Went out there and just destroyed him, choked him out, got out of him early first round, and then the second fight, which was, you looked at that first fight and you were like, yo, nasty choke out, right? And then the next one between Bobby Green and Tony Ferguson was even nastier of a choke, dog.
That's the one I was talking about, was the Ferguson fight. Talk to me about that one. What happened?
Bobby Green is nasty. He is a mean guy. Yeah, you guys are hearing that. There's a storm.
I don't know if they do hear that, but it just started to come down. They can't hear that because we got a high quality audio here, my friend.
Facts. True.
We tune all that stuff out, but there is a storm
of brewing.
Yeah, right around this. Lightning and all, but
yeah.
So
bro,
yeah, Bobby Green is a mean machine.
Mean machine in that lightweight division.
I pray to God Tony Ferguson retires.
I hope so too, dog. He didn't formally announce it, but like, you gotta let it go, my dog.
It's too much already.
You made it happen. We're all proud of you. You know what I'm saying? But like, you just got put to sleep, like out, dog. They went to do the Hulk Hogan, put your arm up, and his arm went down, and they never came back up, dog. And the referee called it, stop to it there. Nasty arm triangle that he got him with, man. And Bobby Green is one of those dudes in the lightweight division, like we were talking about earlier, man. Like, this is a dude who can put on a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're looking for guys to fight in that lightweight division that maybe Gaethje doesn't get a shot against those guys, put in Bobby Green in one of those cards, dog, because you can literally do a whole card of the lightweight division.
That guy, that's going to be a guy to look out for here.
Hell yeah,
man.
A
year or two.
Hell yeah, man. He should get a shot soon, man. And then that was pretty much it. The funniest night of the moment was when Derek Lewis knocked out.
Moment of the night.
For sure. When he knocked out De Lima, he knocked him out, hit him with a flying knee to start the fight, a la Masvidal, knocked Buddy down and just started pounding him on the ground until the referee called an end to it. But then he took off his shorts and started fanning his nuts.
Immediately.
It was wild, man. That dude is wild.
He paid homage to the time that he did that, and Joe Rogan came in and asked him, why did you take your shorts off? And he said, my balls is hot. And this time around, he followed up with an epic quote. I think he said something like, I'm about to go home and
drill my wife or some shit like that.
Bust my wife's guts.
Yeah, something like that. Something along the lines, man. Something should be just left in private, but that guy has no shame.
Got no shame.
That guy has no shame. But he's an entertaining guy, man.
Yeah.
He needed that win in the worst way too, bro. He needed a good knockout to come out. He had been like on an up and down streak of losing, getting knocked out and shit. So it's good to see him back into the winning column, man, for sure, man. Yeah. For sure. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up today's show, dog.
That's it. That's all we got.
That's all we got, man. Little Messi moments. Soccer's coming up soon.
Messi, I heard he's playing. Actually, I some interesting thing I saw today. Messi's not playing in some games in the MLS because MLS, for the most part, is artificial turf. Yeah. A lot of clubs and stadiums are adopting turf, regular turf, like real turf,
right,
because of Messi and his presence. But some teams are saying, refuse. Nah, we ain't doing all that.
Which is cool.
It's like, all right, cool. Then instead, he's not going to play in your stadium. So
yeah,
he's not going to be playing in some games. So that's interesting.
Yeah. But the next game,
Messi effect is definitely real.
It's definitely real, dog. Their next home game isn't for a while. They're still playing in the U.S. Open Cup, but that game is going to be in later August, and then they won't play until August 20th against Charlotte FC in the MLS. So that's probably going to be his home debut in the MLS. That's it, man. That's all we got for Messi, bro. Cool. All he needs is that quick moment. Watch it on that day because he's going to score a goal. I can bet that.
Yeah, for real. Or more than one.
For sure. You can almost bet that, man. Put it on every day, dog. You know what else you can bet on?
What's that?
Us dropping that fire video that we got for 365.
365 dog. Coming up, baby. It's ready. We just need y'all help to drop it already.
Yes, man. We need y'all help, man. Help us get to 300 subs on the YouTube channel. You can do that by telling a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell another friend.
To tell everybody that they know that has YouTube.
To tell everybody that they know that has YouTube. To go to the Sports with SoSo YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure your notifications on because then you'll be notified when we're getting ready to drop that heat. Until next time, y'all.
Peace.